And hello everyone, I'm back with another flashlight review today, and I have a light which some of you may already be familiar with. This is one which was produced for the folks at Budget Light Forum, and it was originally, or is actually, the original production of an Astrolux flashlight. Astrolux is already a good flashlight producer. We recently had another Astrolux flashlight, which I did a video on. This one is another in the series of Astrolux lights, but this particular edition was produced for Budget Light Forum, hence the BLF here, and it is the special edition. Under the Astrolux name, it's known as the S1, but here it's called the A6, and it comes in a couple of different different LED types. There's a warm white and so forth version. So here are your other choices here. This is the 1A version, and it is a cool white LED. It's also an XP-L LED, so it has it's able to achieve a high output, and that's what this flashlight does, a high output of up to 1600 lumens. And here we have the BLF right here. Included in the box, they do not have a user manual, but you do get the lanyard here, adjustable, and you do get this little package here with a couple of spare, there's a spare O-rings and a spare switch button. But the flashlight here is very well made. It is of high quality, and it costs about the same as a lot of budget flashlights, but offers a heck of a lot more. As I mentioned, the emitter is an XP-L, and it is under a smooth, or within a smooth, not a smooth, I'm sorry, an orange peel reflector. It is impact resistant to a meter, and the glass here is toughened, ultra clear mineral glass with an anti-reflective coating. It's IPX8 waterproof to 2 meters, so you can submerge it. The pocket clip is very well constructed. It's very tough, and as you can see, it has pretty good knurling around the light, so not too much chance of it slipping from your hands even when wet. The tail cap is right here, and when you push it on, it just gives you regular light. There is no momentary on, so it's not tactical in the sense that you can tap it for momentary light. You actually have to press the switch in order to get light. Now, within the tail cap, you can see that the threads are nicely greased, and they're very smooth, and square threads, not sure, but they are very nicely, they do have a nice smooth feel to them, and there is a spring inside the cap. So, and the button doesn't really stick out at all, so it is tail standing, or will tail stand without a problem, just like that. So the light actually has 2 groups, and you can change back and forth between the groups if you want. Right now I have it set in group 2, but I actually prefer group 1, but I can show you how to change the groups by changing back to group 1. So when you tap on the light, you'll get obviously instant light, and it also has mode memory, which can be enabled in both groups as well. You can read about all this within the written review on my website, which will spell things out in a more easy to understand manner than me trying to explain a lot of it, because it does get a little bit, it's tricky to explain if you're not familiar with changing flashlight groups. So basically I have 4 modes within group 2. This is low, then medium, then high, and then turbo. So those are your 4 groups, or 4 modes within group 2. And as well as going forward, you can also go backwards, which is a very nice feature. All you do is, from any particular mode you happen to be in, you want to press and hold the button for a couple of seconds and then release it. And if you do it sort of uniformly, or press the button uniformly, it will go back down to where you previously were. So you can kind of see that it's doing that. Now in this particular instance, it's also, because I'm going backwards, it's also going through the special flashing modes, of which there are 3. There's strobe, there's a battery check light, which is what it's in right now, and there's also a bike flash. Right now the battery check is only giving me two blinks. It could give me up to 5 if the battery were very well charged, but I've been using it for a fair amount, so the battery is now down to about 40%, so it's flashing twice. And I was going to show you the battery in there. I don't know why I didn't when I took the cap off, but I am using a high drain 30Q INR 18650, which they do recommend. So there's actually a link to this within my written review, so you can check those batteries out that way, or get something else, but they do recommend high drain 18650. So, as we were saying, we have mode memory enabled, and with a lot of lights, mode memory will not memorize any of the flashing modes, but the BLF does do that, which is rather unique. I turned this off a moment ago in the battery flash. I turned it back on, opened the cap, turned it back on, and it's still in battery flash. So that's what mode memory does with this light. It'll memorize any mode it happens to be in. And so the flashing modes you can read about again in my written review. And in group 2, those flashing modes are only accessible from going in reverse. So these are the basic modes. Turbo is mighty bright, as I think you can possibly tell here. So it's certainly a good bright light, and it has a very nice white, not too much of a not a spotlight beam at all. It's just very well uniformed. And you can see those outdoor pics, of course, which are pretty nifty by looking at my written review as well. But a very impressive little light. So to change those groups is you have to tap the button a whole bunch of times, and you have to be in the lowest, I believe, anyway, you have to be in the lowest position of the light to do it. Somebody may correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I've been doing it that way and it's been working. So let me just make sure I'm in the low mode. I will turn it off, and then as soon as I turn it on, I'm going to start tapping the button. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, until it stops, and then, oh, I may have missed it. It flashes twice after it pauses for a second, and then it's between the two flashes that I have to click the button. Oh, it worked. Okay, it did actually accept it. Okay, now it's in all the other modes of group 1. Now we have moonlight, followed by low, medium 1, medium 2, high 1, high 2, and turbo. So now we have all the modes. I wasn't sure if I caught that there because, as I say, the button has to be pressed in between the two flashes, or else it won't make the change. But this is moonlight, and as you can see, obviously it performs exceptionally well in dark conditions, and you have to be up close to something, but that's what moonlight is, and it works great. So as I say, memory is also enabled on this, and the way you turn memory on and off is to go through that clicking sequence, and then when it goes to a second group of 2 blinks, you have to turn it off after the first blink, and then that turns on mode memory. It was turned off by default when I got it, and it was also in group 1. So I wanted mode memory, and again, that's how you change the group, by tapping it and then watching for the first couple of flashes, and then mode memory is the second couple of flashes. So to do them both, you'd have to go through the sequence twice, and then to change back to the second group or the first group, whichever you happen to have changed into, you have to go through that tapping sequence again, and then wait for the first 2 flashes. Now this is all written out in my written review, as would make sense, so head to my website at lightsandgear.com and you can read about it, and I hope at that point it will make more sense when you see it written down than me trying to explain it, which tends to be a little bit confusing. But anyway, I do like this light, the BLF Special Edition. I think it's pretty cool for the features that they do offer. It's not USB rechargeable. It doesn't have any illuminated buttons. It doesn't have momentary light on the bottom. There are a couple of things like that, some little frills it doesn't do, but it is cheaper, and that's how they've kept the price down, is by keeping some of the frills out, but by also giving you they have given you rather, a very quality light, or a well-built light, and they put some interesting features into it as well. So, the BLF Special Edition was provided by my friends at Banggood. You can check the link below to look at it on their website. I believe it is only available at Banggood.com. No other merchant was given the opportunity to sell this light, so it is theirs exclusively. As I say, that link is below where you can check it out there, and it's also within the written review on my website. So if you want to pick one up at a great price, that's the place to do it. I do thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Lightsandgear.com is the website with more flashlights, batteries, chargers, and we hope to see you again next time with another review. Do take it easy now.